some people go to the other extreme saying, oh, I don't need that much money. Nobody needs that much money. When you hear people talking about, millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars or even billions these days.
Hmm.
Well, who lied to you? Why is there a limit on what you can have? Right?
Right.
Why are you looking at me and thinking there's a limit on what I should
Or
have?
place any limitations on their ability, and they're open, they're absorbing stuff. They step out of the box. They're out of box thinkers, and it's the out of box thinkers and the people who are willing to step out of the box who actually move the pendulum forward.
All right, let's get into this then. Okay.
Mhm.
So day three is big boss aspirations. And to start off, I like that you talked about those first two sentences. Who lied to you? Right. And then why do you continue the lie? Right. And so what I'm talking about in there, everything is related to make dollars and cents. So who lied to you? Big boss aspirations. So who told you that you had to have everything right now? Right.
Mhm.
And then on the other part, some people go to the other extreme saying, oh, I don't need that much money. Nobody needs that much money. When you hear people talking about, millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars or even billions these days.
Mhm.
Well, who lied to you? Why is there a limit on what you can have? Right?
Right.
Why are you looking at me and thinking there's a limit on what I should have and what I should do? Why
Mhm.
would you want to impose that on me? Because I look at my money as not just being for me. My money is good for what I can do in the world, right? How I can help that single mother, how I can help that single father, how I can help, my church family even,
Mhm.
like, so there's no limit on it. How I can help my own family, my mother, my father, whatever, my brother, my sister, whoever needs help, my nieces, my nephews, whoever needs help. So
Right.
the stranger in the grocery store where her kids, she got to put stuff back. Well, I can be like, nah, go ahead and get that. I got you.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
So, and in this it says, because I just looking at some people, I think you live in an illusion. You're either in the illusion of I need everything, or all everything is not necessary. No,
Mhm.
no. I'm saying it from the point of I'm gonna be responsible, but it's for the goal or the intent is to grow from there,
Right.
to the
Right.
point where I can do things to help other people and enjoy myself. Like I want my Range Rover. Right. I want my Range Rover. So, well, go ahead. What you got?
Well, everything you said,
Hmm.
and actually, I'm going to take it to the first sentence
Hmm.
of the second paragraph
Okay.
of that day three. Okay. And if everybody's reading the book, that chapter, the first two sentences, quite frankly, there truly is nothing wrong with aspiring to live your best life, right? Money is not evil.
Hmm.
Okay. So we can go in on that, right?
Hmm. We can.
And I see this chapter as really talking about projection. See, what
Hmm.
I've learned in life, in my 21 years of living, right? But in my many years of living, I've always stopped myself from doing something or living my best life based on one's projections, projecting their fears, doubts, worries, and concerns, limitations on me,
Hmm.
right? That power of projection, it's very, very powerful.
Hmm. It
It's
is.
innate almost, right? You could have the greatest hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and all it takes is one person
Yeah. Yeah.
to shut you down,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
What's the thing? The Bible says money is the root of all evil, blah, blah,
The
blah.
love of money. The love
The
of
love,
money.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you corrected that because that has been said so often, right? Money is the root of all evil. You hear it all over
Right.
the place. That's not what the scripture says.
Right.
And
Right.
you're not talking to TD Jakes here, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So money is only evil if you have bad intentions and doing bad things with it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So pursuing it is not bad.
Hmm.
Chasing it is wrong.
Right.
Because if you chase it, you will jump off, you'll do anything to get it.
Hmm.
part of the pursuit is the investment that we talked about in the previous channel. And when I say pursuit, I'm looking at it as far as a goal,
Mm-hmm.
right? There are goals, right? You work out, okay, I'm pursuing having better health. So I have to work out, I have to eat, right? I have to do certain things. So I'm
Right.
pursuing it, but I'm not chasing it because you're never going to catch it,
Right. Absolutely.
right? So what I say to folks is to live your best life. And as you said, and asked in the first paragraph, the first two questions, who lied to you?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you continue to lie,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much to yourself and other people? That's pure projection
Mm-hmm.
coming on both ends.
Right.
And don't allow people to project their fears, worries, limitations, all that on you.
Right.
Because I have a book up here by Malcolm Gladwell called The Outliers. I don't know if anybody's read it.
I have that
I
book. I have that.
yes, I encourage everybody to read that book. Malcolm Gladwell is one of the foremost thought provokers when it comes to living your best life and dreaming and thinking big. And he's got a number of books that are on that path. And the outliers are the ones that really rule the world. They're the ones that are not afraid to step out of the box. And I don't want to say they're trying to live their best life. They're just living their life.
They're living their life, but to
They're
them,
living
it
their
is
life.
their best because if you contain them, then you're shutting them down. You're killing their
Right,
spirit, you know?
right. It,
So
it,
let
it
them
really gets
live.
much. Yep. That's what and they don't place any limitations on thought or place any limitations on their ability. And they're open, they're absorbing stuff. They step out of the box, they're out of box thinkers. And it's the out of box thinkers and the people who are willing to step out of the box who actually move the pendulum forward. I'll give you a good analogy. And I tell my son this a lot of times, when he's with his boys and stuff. I said, if you're ever in a group and you got to say, if all you guys are debating about hanging out and y'all want to go to Cracker Barrel, it's five of you guys that y'all roll with.
Mhm.
What happens if you say, no, I don't want to go to Cracker? All four of everybody says they want to go, but you're the one that says, no, I don't want to go. What do you think will happen? The group dynamic. He
Mhm.
says, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I said, try it tonight.
Right.
Went from the basketball game. He says, no, I don't want to go. I want to go to IHOP. You know what they did? They went to IHOP.
With the IHOP. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
it takes is one.
One.
That's all it takes is one.
Yeah.
And the thing is, now that's just food. That's something very simple.
Mhm.
But my point is on the bigger ideas, bigger things that you have, all it takes is one idea, one person, one
Right.
thought that can really shift the whole pendulum for
Mhm.
what it is you want to do and where you want to go.
Right. And then over here, I was talking about too that negative self-talk because that goes along with it too. Because it's like this one, I feel like this big boss aspiration is it's sort of like a two sides of the coin to me.
Mhm.
So that negative self-talk is basically you telling yourself you don't deserve it. And it may not necessarily even be a spoken word, but it's your actions. The
Mhm.
things that you do, you continually spend all your money. You continually don't pay all your bills because you're out there trying to bowl. So you're
Mhm.
telling yourself that I don't deserve better. You're really
Mhm.
you're telling yourself I don't deserve better. I don't deserve peace of mind. I don't deserve peace in my home because your home is impacted by your spending. Your
Mhm.
peace of
Mhm.
mind is impacted by your spending. I tell
Mhm.
people all the time, I'm a teacher. I get paid now 11 months out of the year, but it used to be 10 months out of the year. So for those 2 months that I don't get paid,
It's
I save
yeah.
for those months.
Mhm.
But we have some that don't save for that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I could not imagine my life, the turmoil that I would be in if I did not prepare for those 2 months.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
inside of me, like there would be no peace. I'm telling you, you see me on the news or something somewhere. Like
Right.
I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Ever since I have been teaching, I have saved for that summer. They used to take it from us and put it away.
Mhm.
And then they
Mhm.
stopped, and then decided with the credit union. The credit union takes it now and they'll penalize you for taking it out just so to
Yep.
ensure that you save it. Right.
Yep.
But I'm like, some people don't put it in there. And I'm like, and I see them stressing all the time, running around borrowing and this, that, and the other. And it's like, man, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for this
Yep.
discipline.
When you what do you say, do, or think when you're around people? who
Hmm.
say, "Yeah, man, I'm a boss, man." You know,
Um,
what do you think about that?
I mean,
What does that mean?
to me, you if you're a boss, you don't have to tell me you're a boss. That's really it. Your life will say it for you.
Right,
You know, your
right,
reputation will precede you, okay? Or it'll
right,
follow you into the room or into my presence at least. Because I
right,
see people, I see things. You know, I may not always speak on them, but if you ask me a direct question, more than likely, I'm gonna say 99.99% of the time, you will get a direct answer, you know,
right,
to that question. And
right.
because of that, you know, people may assume, oh, she's negative. No, you asked me a question, you know, and
Exactly.
I've learned to wait until I'm asked instead of,
Right.
you know, speaking, you know, what I say, or I'm sorry, what I see or what I would like to say. So I think I just like to give people that truth of if you're a boss, you don't have to tell me you're a boss. You know,
Hmm.
if it
Hmm.
comes up in the conversation, like, yeah, okay,
Hmm.
you know, you say, you know, your truth, you speak your truth, right?
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to.
It's
Yeah.
that's an interesting thing because
Hmm.
I've heard it a number of times, and you know, um, through my many travels and meeting a lot of people all over, I've heard this a number of times that because I like the title "Big Boss Aspirations."
Hmm.
And it's great to aspire to be
Right.
something, right?
Right.
I mean, hey,
Absolutely.
I'm one
Absolutely.
of these dudes. If you speak it into existence, the spirits of the universe will bless you as long as you work for it. At some point, it'll happen.
Hmm.
But many of the people that I meet that say that stuff, they're not working towards being a boss.
Exactly. Exactly.
Uh, and again, it goes back to my what I feel is more of the projection.
Hmm.
You know, you're trying to impress people with this boss stuff and all of that. And quite frankly, nobody really cares about any of that stuff. I mean, unless we're
Right.
doing business together, but for
Right.
the most part, fronting like you're a boss. You don't even have to say it. Acting, behaving like
Right.
you're the big boss and all that other stuff, it doesn't really move a lot of people. And if
Mhm.
anything, you come up on the short end because all this fronting you're doing is going to require you to spend a great deal of money to
Right.
keep on that front, right?
Right.
And imposters will be exposed, right?
Exactly.
Um, But if there's nothing wrong with aspiring to be a boss or whatever that is, but you got to speak into existence. You got to put some work behind it.
Right. Exactly.
And if you're not willing to do that, then you're just talking for the
Mhm.
most part. And
Yeah.
I know plenty of bosses who don't tell everybody they're bosses.
Right.
You wouldn't know
Exactly.
they're bosses, right? They're
Exactly.
regular people. They don't need to go around preaching it. But those that aren't bosses, that are saying they're bosses, they ain't bosses either. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really a good point too, because um it's like you put in the work, you know, things will begin to happen for you. It's like a chain reaction, you know, when you put in the work and you're doing the good things, you know, like I said, what we were saying, you know, you're exercising, you're watching what you eat, you're getting that next level of education, you're paying attention to the latest research on whatever is going on. I mean, then things will start to move in your direction because you're moving in that direction. Your energy is going in that direction, right?
Right.
So you don't have to tell anybody about all that you're doing. We'll see it. We'll see it. We'll
Right.
see it
Right.
shows. It'll
Right.
be in your talking and your conduct through general conversation, what you're
Mhm.
doing, right? Um, let me see. Let me see. Big boss aspirations require you to get busy and to make
Mhm.
moves in the present to benefit you in the future. That's a note that I wrote down in the little
Mhm.
comment section. You know, I want to
Mhm.
say that
Mhm.
each chapter in the book, Make Dollars and Cents, has some reflection pages because I really wanted people to take this serious, not just another book that you read and you breeze through it and you're done. You could do that with this, but
Right.
put reflection pages in there. So when you're
Right.
serious, you can sit down and think about things. Because that's
Right.
one thing too that we didn't mention in the last chapter. Do I really need this? People don't want to think. They don't want to think about things. So
Mhm. Mhm.
that spending, that's your way of staying busy. Keep moving, moving,
Right.
and all that
Right.
talking. That's
Right.
another. It's a distraction,
Right. Right.
from the
Exactly.
real thing, from what's really going on. So
Right. Right. You know, from my interactions, and this is just from my personal experience, right? From my interaction and exposures
Mm-hmm.
to really high level successful people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about I sat down and interviewed them and, you know, did like Dr. Dennis Kimbrough and then interviewed all these
Right.
billionaires to figure out what's going
Right.
on.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, this is just, hey man, we sitting down having drinks. That's back when I was drinking at least. Sitting down drinking, just talking.
Mm-hmm.
And just out of natural curiosity, just listening, right? Like how did they get to where they got? And the one thing that threw me for a loop was most of the most successful people that I've ever met that are in their industry,
Mm-hmm.
they failed more than they've achieved.
Wow. Excellent.
But they were it was the work that went into the fail, meaning they learned from the failures. They had to keep banging their head into the wall to figure, okay, wait a minute, I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
And they were open to making adjustments and changes, which took them incremental steps. It wasn't big, huge leaps and bounds.
Right.
But the most successful people that I've met have failed more than they've succeeded or achieved. And quite frankly, many of them were actually, I don't want to say surprise may not be the right word, but when the payoff came, many of them said they weren't ready for it
Mm-hmm.
because they've been banging around for so
Wow.
long
Wow.
trying to get there,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Wait, and I'll give you an analogy. The NFL draft is tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm. Or does it
And
start tonight? Does it start tonight?
maybe we gotta get off here early. No, but if you ever watch the draft, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you watch the young brothers and sisters that get drafted into
Mm-hmm.
whatever their sport is for the
Mm-hmm.
pro, if you ever look at their faces, they made it, but they look as if they're shocked that they're
Right.
there
Right. Right.
because of all the hard work, the people, the naysayers, and
Mm-hmm.
doing so many things, the injury,
Right.
everything that went
Right.
into just getting to that moment. You never see anybody get up there like, yo, I know I'm supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Shaq might have been the only one where he was like, yeah, I know what's up. But everybody else is like, they got this look
Right.
like they're stunned that they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a bad thing, I guess, right?
Right.
But
No, it's
right.
great.
But but most of the individuals that I've met, and I made a note of this, like, and I just thought of a couple of guys, and they
Mm-hmm.
were just talking about the journey to get to where they got. And once
Mm-hmm.
that opportunity came, they almost had a little bit of imposter syndrome because they didn't know if they were ready for that moment when it came.
Right.
And they got over it, of course, once
Mhm.
things got going.
Right. Right.
But I don't know if a lot of people really know that. They think that these guys just got it and they just no, it's not because we're all human, right? Like
Right.
we think we're ready for the moment
Right.
until that moment of that opportunity comes. And those opportunities can come from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the work that goes into it and that reward will come later. But the steps are incremental. There
Right.
are no leaps and bounds unless you
Right.
hit the lottery or unless you have
Mm-hmm.
this I don't know invention to save the cure cancer. Well, even that takes work. You're
Right.
going to get rejected by the FDA and all
Right.
these other things, and then it's just incremental.
Right. Excellent, excellent points. I like that you made that NFL analogy because even with that, like you said, the hard work, the tears, the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into that, and then they get to that day, that draft day, and they look overwhelmed up
They
there,
look overwhelmed.
like
Yeah.
I can't believe it, like oh, I'm so
And they'll
grateful,
even
so
say that.
thankful.
Yeah, they'll even say that in the
Yeah.
interview, like,
Oh yeah.
man, I just can't believe it,
Just
man.
can't believe
And
it.
I'm like, dude, you didn't work. But again, this is me thinking, man, you've
Right.
been since you was 9 years old. What you mean?
Mhm. Right.
And you was a Heisman Trophy winner. What you mean?
Right.
But if you think about it, if you've
Mhm.
met successful people,
Mhm.
whatever industry, whether it be sports or business,
Right.
this is the deer in the headlights moment when that
Right.
big contract comes through or that big deal comes through. They're like, I can't believe I'm sitting here. Like,
Mhm.
this is really going to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, you've
Right.
prepared for it. You're ready,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
And I remember I'm not going to reveal no names, but talking to a friend of the family. He's friends with family members when he first got his big multi-million dollar contract where he was making $1 million a month on that
Yeah.
contract. And he said, told the family member, he's like, I'm surprised myself. Like I'm still trying to get used to
Yeah.
this myself, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But then
Yeah.
they got all these people coming at him, for this, that, and the other, where,
Hmm.
like that's what I'm talking about too with them big boss aspirations. Like you need a good circle of friends, a good circle of people around you,
Hmm.
because you can't be the boss in every area of your life, especially
No.
once you get to those kind of levels.
Right.
You need
Right.
some bosses around you, some people that's good at administration, some people that's good at finances, and you
Hmm.
watch over and see all that. You truly don't, diminish yourself, but continue to tell yourself and watch over all of that, because all of that's
Hmm.
still yours. You still got that
Right.
responsibility to take care of all of that,
Right.
but still, that's part of being a boss is paying
Hmm.
attention to the business as well.
Right. Right. Well, and the guys that I've talked to, they surround themselves with guys who are smart,
Mm-hmm.
right? They try not to have people who are smarter than them, right? Maybe a little bit more keen, because hey man, money starts missing. Things come a little short, right? Everything isn't within, the context of somebody stealing your money, but
Right.
something may drop off in a certain sector of the corporation,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to have eyes and ears on everything, meaning there's a larger sense of accountability now. You
Mm-hmm.
want to be the boss, well, there's accountability and responsibility now,
Right.
right? You are responsible not just for the corporation, but the operation, the day-to-day functioning, the personnel, all of that stuff. And they will tell you it's not fun,
Right.
right? Because now that you're here, you now have to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to find a way to streamline the process to where it kind of functions on its own. Well, wait a minute, it took me 10 years to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's going to probably take you another 5 to 10 years to get it to where it's a
Right.
self-functioning operation. And it's
Absolutely.
not about, and they all told me, like I made notes about this. I
Mm-hmm.
remember this stuff. They were
Mm-hmm.
like, you're so used to not taking money from the company that you're not really paying attention to what your actual salary is,
Mm. Wow.
right? Because when you're building your company, you're really not taking a salary. You're
Mm-hmm.
reinvesting all of that money and whatever gains that you're getting back into it to continue to grow. Well,
Mm-hmm.
once it starts running on its own engine, you might even read reports like, wait a minute, Bill Gates only pays himself what?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, you can read these articles about these super
Right.
billionaires. They're
Right.
not taking huge salaries. Yeah, they got stock options, but they love the company so much and what they
Right.
built and the journey to get
Right.
there and perseverance and hard work. It was never really about the money.
Money. Right.
Somebody had to actually tell me, hey, Bill, listen, we need to sit down and have a talk, dude. You got $1 trillion company, man. You could take home more than 500,000 a year, okay? Right? It's okay, dude. We can,
Right.
the board of directors has approved you making, I don't know, 20 million, right? And
Right.
Bill be like, what? How much was I making? Right? But they think differently.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see the
Absolutely.
world differently, right? The
Absolutely.
big boss thing, they don't see themselves as big
Right.
bosses.
But they're actually the
That's,
big boss,
they're
right?
the big boss, right?
Yeah.
And matter of fact, when they walk into a room, they're trying to figure out why everybody's staring at them.
Staring it down.
I mean, these are just little subtle
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
that, as fans, if you want to call it
Mm-hmm.
that, we
Mm-hmm.
don't pay attention to. They
Right.
don't want you to see them as this big thing. And
Right.
those that have that huge ego, they're usually the first ones that default.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
don't last.
Right. And I think it's an excellent point that you made. Because once again, it ties into everything else that we've been talking about. The people that
Yeah.
actually have the money, they're the ones that look like they don't have the money. Remember
Mm-hmm.
Steve
Yeah.
Jobs with that black shirt and them old jeans all
No
the
deodorant, musky.
time, all the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the person out here that doesn't have anything, no corporation behind them, no corporation that they're building, really
Mm-hmm.
no goals, but just big boss aspirations out here with the Gucci head to toe
Right.
on,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So it's a yes, you have nice things, but have it and keep things in perspective. That's all.
Right.
Really, my only point. I
Right.
want
Right.
to see
Right.
generations change.
Yeah.
I want to see the kids doing better, and not just better, but really building something, businesses, and having your investments and owning real estate. You know,
Mm-hmm.
taking a
Yeah.
trip to Dubai.